Hello, and welcome to Uncle Milo Explains how to make a gauze face mask. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because in the last week or so it's become impossible to get any kind of inexpensive gauze face masks. Even the expensive face masks have all disappeared. So, you probably have the materials around your house already to make a gauze face mask, you just don't realize it. So all I'm talking about is how to assemble it with materials that you probably have on hand already. Alright, the reason why you need to have a face mask is to protect yourself from two things. One is respiratory droplets that somebody else may emit if they're sick and they've sneezed. And the other one, and really this is the primary thing, is if you touch a surface that's contaminated, then you don't want to touch your face by mistake. It happens way too often. We touch our faces and then we would become infected. You're able to get home, wash your hands, decontaminate yourself, and stay safe. That's the whole point of wearing a face mask. Also, because these materials are all around the house, you probably have enough material to make several. You can make gauze face masks for friends, family, and to make new ones when your old ones break or you're worried about them being contaminated. So, this is the face mask itself. I just made this a few minutes ago. I have to take off my glasses in order to put it on because it loops behind the ears. When I breathe in, I have to make sure I breathe in through the mask. And also, it keeps me from touching my mouth. I can't touch my mouth because the mask is in the way. So, this is what we're going to end up with. Alright, I've been to two different drugstores. I went to CVS to get these CVS. I went to the Walgreens to get Walgreens pads. And there's something at CVS called a wound care kit. Stop it for a moment, thank you. Alright, this is the CVS gauze pad. This is the Walgreens gauze pad. And this is the one that came out of the wound care kit, which actually is made by Johnson & Johnson. Also, at Walgreens, I purchased a large bag of rubber bands, and at CVS they have a slightly smaller bag of rubber bands, which I'm going to use for the side. Also, coming with the wound care kit is tape that you can use, or at Walgreens I purchased some paper tape. And finally, you need to have a marker, which I'll show you how to use and why you need that, and a pair of scissors just in case we need it. These are, again, commonly found items around your household. To start with, each one of these pads has to be treated slightly differently, but I'll start with the Walgreens since this is the one that I made my first one with. Alright, I'm going to open these up and show you how to make them, how to prepare them. But I also wanted to point out that these are 4 inches by 4 inches. They're not 3 inches by 3 inches. If you have 4 inches by 8 inches, you can fold them over. Basically, you have to be able to breathe through them. Now, opening up the Walgreens. This one is made, you cannot breathe through this one. This one is made with a layer on the inside, so I have to open it up carefully. Then you have to open it up like this, where it doubles over. You open it up, remove the inside layer. That one is not breathable. Now what you're left with, you can breathe through what's left. And you have to fold it back up the way you opened it up. It's a little bit difficult, so you have to do what you can to make sure it stays the same. Fold it back up, and then fold it back up the way that it started out. The CVS pad, I'll show you in a moment. The CVS pad ends up being just about identical in the same way. So you end up with a pad that's basically the same way that it was, except it has an insert. CVS pad is slightly different, but it also has an insert. So again, I open it up. It's simply difficult to breathe through, so you simply have to open it up. Take out the insert, throw that away, fold these back up, and then fold it back up. Fold it back up and then pause. The Johnson & Johnson pad is a little bit different. This one can be breathed through the whole thing, so basically you're just going to take this and you can actually make 2 pads out of this one and just simply cut it in half. So if you have Johnson & Johnson gauze pads, they're actually easier to use and you can get more out of them. You don't have to throw anything away. So CVS, Walgreens, and Johnson & Johnson. The next part of this is to put the facing around it. You're going to take the tape. You make enough tape to just do one side without overlap. If you overlap, you have the scissors to cut the extra overlap with. I simply place the tape down here, flip it over, bring it around, and put it on. I do that for all 4 sides. Okay, and I'm about done with this. I'm going to put this on, and I intentionally made this too long to show if you have an extra amount of tape, you just simply cut it off. Alright, I've finished all 3. This is the Walgreens, that's the CVS, this is the Johnson & Johnson. Now, the next thing I need to do is to mark one side. There are 2 reasons for doing this. You want to make certain each one is marked uniquely. I'm going to put J and J on this one. I'm going to put CVS on this one. And on this one I'm going to put W for Walgreens. There are 2 reasons for doing this. Number 1, you always want to have one side facing the same way so that you don't accidentally turn this around and turn the side which has been facing into the environment into your mouth. You want to know which way you're going to be wearing this mask at all times. The other reason is that if there's more than one, you don't want to be sharing your mask with anybody, so always put a unique name or a symbol or a star. In this case, I make nice stars, so I always like putting stars on there, or a half a moon, or something that indicates, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, whatever, a number, something that indicates which one it is so that you know which one is uniquely yours. Next, I'm going to attach the rubber bands. Okay. To do the rubber bands, we have the rubber bands here. You need to have a large rubber band. The rubber bands here, unfortunately, this comes with lots and lots of different sizes. We need something that's large enough. Only the very largest will do, so I'm going to select 2 very large ones, and the rest of them we're going to throw back in the bag for now. This CVS bag, these are the ones that I bought at CVS. I'm going to open this up, and we'll find rubber bands large enough to work in here as well. It looks like we'll have to use these. We want to make certain that they're consistent in the same size. Not quite as big as the Walgreens one, but if they're small, they'll stretch very nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 more, and that will do very nicely. Next thing you do with the rubber bands is you need to pre-stretch them. You need to pre-stretch them so that they'll stretch out properly. This is very important, especially with rubber bands that are brand new. As you stretch them out, they become relaxed. They can go a lot farther without a problem. So, if you have small children, of course, that you're making them for, you can use smaller rubber bands, but generally this size should work for adults down to children. Now, the way that I start with this is, again, I take the paper tape. I do 2 sides, 2 on one side and 2 on one other side. 2 small pieces of tape about 1.5 inches long. I place them underneath, not all the way to the bottom, not all the way to the top. I need to leave a little bit of room. Take a single rubber band. You don't have to tighten it up. You can actually keep it fairly loose. And then just fold it over, one at the bottom and at the top. And then the same thing on the other side. It doesn't look like much, and that's all you need. I found that doing it this way works the best. Again, put it on the bottom, almost to the bottom. On the top, almost to the top. Take the rubber band, stretch it, make sure it's stretchy. Put it across, fold it over, and believe it or not, it holds fairly well. Okay, so again, this will fit right behind the ears, and around, and around, and it covers. You have to cover your nose, of course, and that will do. So that works. Okay, so I'm finishing up the third one now. The larger rubber bands are actually going to be a little bit looser. They're okay though, they work. And so now I've got 3 of them: a Walgreens, CVS, and the J&J, Johnson & Johnson gauze pads. So that's pretty much it. It's as simple as that. You already have the materials. So you just if you need to make a face mask in an emergency, this is how you can do that. All right, so that's it. How to make how to assemble gauze face masks. I hope that this has helped. That this has been Uncle Milo Explains number 16, how to assemble a gauze face mask. Thank you very much for watching.